Welcome back, Suzuki families. Today we're covering number 3 from Christine E. Goodner's book. She called this section attention. I feel like it was actually more about how we practice, but she felt like it was about attention apparently, which I can see that you're trying to keep your kids' attention during the practice. So that makes a little bit of sense, but it was all about how we practice. So this is a really relevant section. She suggests that if you've got a young child, you try to do multiple short sessions throughout the day, if this is possible for you. I know this works better for homeschooling families, but this can work for lots of families in different situations. Multiple short sections of practicing work better for younger students. The second thing is try to always make positive comments or ask questions with your child while you're practicing. As much as possible, let the teacher be the one to give the corrective feedback. So example questions of what you could ask your child would be, what does your teacher want you to work on in this piece? Or how did that sound? Or how can you improve this section? Rather than just telling them all that information. If they don't remember what their teacher wanted them to work on, then they might have been zoning out. So asking these questions is really helping them start to engage more. You can also ask, and they play something, did it get better? Was there improvement? Is that what you wanted? Does that sound how you wanted it to? These are all questions to get them thinking. Another suggestion she had, which I thought was really good, was say what you want to see more of rather than what they did wrong. So say they do something that wasn't quite right. You might say, oh, I'd really like to hear a beautiful sound with that pinky. Can you show me that? Or let's watch for a good wrist. Okay, this is a positive way of technically phrasing corrective feedback. It just doesn't sound very corrective. You're just kind of hinting at it, like, oh, I'd really like to see if that wrist can stand up, or I'd really like to see if that pinky can be bumpy, right? And I was actually just doing another one of her suggestions when I gave that example. She also suggests about talking about the what and not the who. So, for example, if they're playing with flat fingers, I'm not going to say, you need to fix those fingers, Johnny. I could phrase it more like, oh, let's see if that pinky can stand up more. Or, oh, that wrist really should stand up more. Or, oh, that shoulder should be nice and relaxed. It kind of separates it from the child's fault to, oh, it's the shoulder that needs to, do better. Sometimes I even talk to the pinky. I say, hey, little pinky, you need to stand up, that type of thing. So separating it from the child, not the who, but the what. Okay, I thought that was just really ingenious. Another thing is demonstrating the correct way for them. So if you as the parent can show the correct posture, like, hey, look at this. Do you see how I'm doing this? Then that's better than saying, oh, you did it wrong, do it like this. Just more subtle ways of giving feedback that don't sound as corrective. Notice how your child responds to different types of feedback. What doesn't faze one child at all might result in another melting down in tears. So you have to know your child. Some children really hate it when you yell from the other room. Others don't care, if you're shouting from the other room, like, play that softer. A lot of kids don't like that. Some might not care. One kid might really want you to point out what she did wrong and just say it straight up. But a lot of times with most kids, it can help to be more subtle and more positive. So just gauge your child. Every kid is different. These are just general pieces of advice that she gave. She also suggested, her last piece of advice, agree ahead of time with your child on a special signal or a cue that you can give them if they make an oopsie. Okay, turn it into a game. So when they're expecting that type of feedback, it's less likely to throw them off guard and frustrate them. So you can say, okay, I'm gonna tap you on the shoulder if I see that, or I'm gonna make a funny little sound or bang on the piano or something when I see something that's not good. Agree about it ahead of time with them and they'll view it more as a game and it won't feel as negative. And Christine also suggests that you communicate with your teacher during the week about how practice is going and if the teacher needs to know something about the quality of your practice at home. Or if you have questions, communicate with your teacher during the week so that they're really up to date and they can do a better job of teaching you when you show up for a lesson. Always let your child know that you love to hear them play. So really just, they want to hear that you are enjoying this whole process. So examples of something might be you saying to them, I love to watch you play, or I love to see how hard you're working. I love to see the progress you're making. I love doing piano with you. Okay, this type of thing is what your child wants to hear from you. They want to know that they're pleasing you, that this is something that you enjoy seeing from them. It's a motivation for them to keep it up, to keep working on it. And lastly, you know your child best. Pay attention to what motivates them and what their learning style is. Some students love games. Others think that they're stupid and they just want to like check every box off, check every assignment off the list and just get done with it. So it really is dependent on the type of student and their learning style. So do what works best for you. Really be always assessing and seeing what works best for your child, and stay in open communication with your teacher for new and fresh ideas. All right, I'll see you guys next time for the 4th tip in the book. All right, bye.